Yeah, what up guys? Rago here from MACkite. So today we're going to talk about the 3 things I wish I had learned before I started wing foiling. Alright, tip number 1, go out in good, semi-strong wind. And what I mean here is, when I first started winging, I didn't want to give up good kite sessions. This was going to be my backup sport. So I would wait for the wind to be light or wait for it to be strong and gusty. And the thing is, learning to wing can be easy if you go out in the right conditions, but if you go in the wrong conditions, it's incredibly difficult. So just like kiteboarding, if you go out in gusty wind, the wing is going to be moving around like crazy. It's going to be really, really hard for you to get a good understanding of how to control the wing. And likewise, if you go out in light wind, you're just going to be slogging around and you're going to be bored out of your mind. So you ideally want to go out side shore conditions, side on conditions. Probably you want to avoid onshore conditions at first, or side off and offshore, because what happens is you create rotary winds. So even this little sand dune that I'm sitting on with the buildings, it would create rotary wings out here in this little slick, and it would be very difficult to control my wing. Tip number 2, absolutely do a downwinder. One thing that I didn't realize is, again, just like kiteboarding, you're going to be doing the walk of shame a lot. So when you get up, you're probably going to go straight downwind, even if you're just on your knees trying to control the wing. It's very easy to end up way downwind from where you started. And what happens is it's exhausting. So you're going to go out, you're going to ride for 10 seconds, and then you're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes walking back upwind, whether you're pushing the wing through the water or trying to carry all that gear, which it's not the easiest setup to carry. So yeah, I think the smartest option would be like just have somebody park a car somewhere, drive upwind a couple miles, and then just go downwind, and that way you're going to get a couple hours of wing time without exhausting yourself. You can dedicate all of your energy to learning the wing, learning to balance on the board, build that muscle memory, and you won't be wasting a lot of time. You could probably save yourself 5 to 10 sessions of work with just one good downwinder. All right, so tip number 3, learn somewhere semi-flat water. And basically, if you go out where there's a big shore break, if there's waves, if there's massive chop, you're gonna get beat up. It's gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be hard to control that wing. It's gonna be hard to get the board in the water. That was one mistake that I made trying to go on the ocean, and I was looking for that strong wind that I talked about. And man, when there's a big shore break, it's pretty easy for that foil to get tossed around. It might go through the wing and put a hole in your wing. It's gonna toss you around. And then when I got out there, oh man, just learning to balance on the chop and everything. And that's something that you'll get to. I would just encourage waiting until you learn the fundamentals of your wing and you're actually riding before attempting it. So ideally you wanna look for somewhere with semi-flat water. And you can see behind me, there's 2 jetties here that create a nice flat water. And this, you know, it's significantly easier to learn. And that'll save you a lot of pain in the long run just going out. So if you pair those things together, if you go out and you've got good steady 20 knot wind, 23 knot wind, something like that, and you're in semi-flat water, it doesn't have to be butter, it doesn't have to be glass, it just has to be semi-flat so that you're not getting rocked around by the current, the waves, and all of that, or big chop. But one thing to be aware of is a spot like this as well, it's a prime kiteboarding slick, so you just want to be considerate. And you can see right over here, we have this rock wall. So typically what we do with the locals is a lot of the kiteboarders will be up here on the wall in the advanced wingers, and then when people are learning winging, they ride right over there, like 5 kite lengths down from everybody else. The water is still very flat there. It's not glass, it's not butter, it's not the prime freestyle conditions that everybody's fighting over, but it is mostly chop free. There aren't large waves, so it just creates an environment that's way better for learning. So you do want to be considerate. You don't want to just go and show up and park at the local kiteboarding slick and get in the way, but you do want to seek out somewhere with a jetty, some rocks, or just go out on a day when there's not massive waves or chop. Those are things that you do want to avoid, and those helped me out monumentally. I have been learning in here. I do have to do the walk of shame in here. I am finally, thankfully, almost past that point, but that has been really helpful, just going out in semi-flat water in strong wind. And I really wish that I had known those things before, because I put a lot of time in just getting beat up, and it was so much easier when I went out in strong wind and semi-flat water. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you found the video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you next time.